Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Melos Machina. We are back again to continue our adventures in Jowdeck. We hope that you have all had a fantastic week. Welcome on into tonight's show, everyone.
Hello.
How are we feeling?
Good.
Yeah.
So good.
I is person.
You as person. You as hello.
I is
You
hi.
as Dragonburn.
I is
Dragon.
dragon person.
Well, it is a new month here at the Adventures Pack. We are so happy to be back. Before we get into tonight's episode, really only the one quick announcement, the continuing message from our sponsor of Melos Machina, Cantrip Candles. Ben, take it away.
Tell me about smell goods.
I will tell you about small
Good.
goods. Thank you for that segue.
You're welcome.
Thank you to our continuing sponsor of Melos Machina, Cantrip Candles. Cantrip Candles make candles that are inspired by different locations and things that you might find in a tabletop role-playing game like Dungeons & Dragons, meant to immerse you into your gameplay. Currently, you can get seasonal scents like Figwood Orchard and Summer Plains, and the very limited edition Botany that we talked about last episode.
It's burning in the background right
Yeah,
now.
it's burning in the background. It smells great.
It smells really
It's
good.
wonderful.
But
So,
you won't know tonight.
if you want to refresh your space and make it smell lovely and green, head over to cantripcandles.com using the link that will be going through chat and use our code APAC for 10% off of your next Cantrip Candles order. We get a little bit of a kickback and you get a discount. So what is happening
And
over
you can
here?
wear the box on the hat.
You can.
No, this is an important thing. He's
Yeah,
gonna do.
no, it's
That's what I
great.
do literally every time. Are you just
Is this
noticing
every
that?
time? Oh my
Vanna
God.
White, okay?
Well, thank you, Cantrip Candles. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. That was a perfect ad.
It was perfect. We are perfect.
We are perfect.
And to all of you watching or listening, we are sorry too.
No.
If you are looking for ways to help support this thing that is so incredibly sorry for what we do, you can head on over to our Patreon. You can subscribe to us on Twitch. You can become a member on YouTube. And all of you who are doing that are part of what keeps us going. So we thank you very much for that. As part of a thank you, we are going to be heading to our Discord after the show for a post-show hangout. Anyone who is a subscriber or a patron or a member gets to join us for those. With that being said, players,
Uh-oh.
are you ready to jump back in to
Oh.
tonight's episode of Melos Machina?
Yeah.
I've only been thinking about it for 2 weeks.
I also have that. I'm so terrified.
When last we met our adventurers, they had collected themselves at Aaron's new safe house and made their way back to the Tired Tinker in the hopes of picking up some problematic items that they might have there, as well as having a final night's rest in a familiar environment. On their way back, the party was once again met and fully came back together when they ran back into Andy, who had come back from Bodgan's forge with news of what had been going on, and though Bodgan was exhausted, seemed to be responsive. The party then returned to the Tinker, where they were met with Cindy with an update as to what was going on, but first, Claudine, who was terribly exhausted with all of the work that she had been doing,
As always.
needed an update as to the complaint that was potentially being lodged regarding the Silver Palm and the delivery of cider that you had all been guarding. After receiving this update and getting some much needed time to herself,
Poor thing.
the party returned to their rooms and had a full night's rest. The next morning, Andy completed work on a bag of holding
I'm in a bag.
in the hopes of having a safe place to hide the corpse of the creature that they had brought back way back in Riversmeet. However, before they were able to head to the room to attempt such a feat, Cindy was waiting at your door. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, Shindy.
Hi. Did you all sleep well?
Strangely, yes.
Yeah.
Well, good. thought I should come as soon as I could to let you know that one of my friends is happy to meet, and I have set up a meeting at the dock. He's waiting there now. He said he was going to be getting breakfast and would wait for you by the dock by the Silver Palm.
Oh, okay.
Is that Dunley? Is that Riker?
Ryder.
Okay.
Okay.
I couldn't get a hold of Dunley.
Oh.
Is that strange?
I don't think so. I couldn't find him at home, but you know, I couldn't check when I knew he'd be there.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What time were we going to go meet?
Yeah. That was.
Afternoon.
Afternoon?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have time to go meet this person first.
Sure. Yeah, it's gonna be a trek a bit, but I mean, we could make it work.
Yeah, we'll keep it short.
Okay.
Thank you, Cindy.
Of course. I assume. Are you all ready now? Should I wait downstairs?
You know, if you could give us maybe like 5 minutes, I think we just have some things we need to pack up here.
Sure.
And then we can meet you down there.
That works for me. I'll see you there.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
Of course.
Thank you.
That she turns and makes her way downstairs.
Awkwardly close the door. Okay, so maybe we should go take care of that really quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
guess. I mean, are we just gonna lug around all of our stuff? I mean, I guess we have to grab the cart anyway, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
We might as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I suppose the code cracking can wait a little bit. Do you need help or?
No,
I don't think so.
I think this is going to just.
It's
Good.
going to work.
You know,
or
let's
it's
just go.
not.
Let's just go.
see what happens.
Yeah. I'll guide Duathi and Andy to our room.
Just holding out the bag.
All right, as you step on in and Andy presenting the bag.
Okay.
Well, it's not wrapping or anything, so this shouldn't be too gross as long as you don't think about it.
It's fine. I think we just need to tighten the wrappings a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like
just
really
make
squeeze it in.
Compact.
You
yeah.
hold it open. We'll
Okay.
guide it in.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, we're just
Probably
gonna
on the-
tighten things up. You know,
And
because we haven't moved it for the last
Yeah.
couple of days, but
Yeah. And we'd wrapped it fairly tight. So
yeah. And we're gonna try to
Shove it in.
guide it nose first.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
that's how it would try and get
Yeah,
into
yeah,
something.
yeah.
If it was trying to
Yeah.
go through something, it would go nose first. That's how science works.
Yeah.
So
Bag.
as you pull out the body, you recall the heft of this
Yep.
creature made of both flesh and metal. And as Andy opens up the bag, you will begin shunting it in. The nose, as this creature is quite aerodynamic. It is very. It was very agile.
Yeah.
And the ridges of its head head towards the bag, and at one point the opening opens and opens,
Okay.
and you feel it get taut, but enough room for the creature to slide in. At one point, one of the limbs catches on the outside, and you have to take it, and as you're moving it, you hear,
Cool.
but you're able to keep pushing it back.
don't worry about
It's
that.
still attached.
It
It's still
doesn't need
attached.
it anymore. It's not going to walk
fine.
anytime soon.
And as the creature is being put into the bag of holding, you can feel the weight lessening and lessening. And Andy, on your end, you feel no change whatsoever of the weight of the bag. Cool.
I made a bag.
Okay. I still.
That's so cool.
That still hurts my brain a bit.
We can put so many things in there.
Yeah.
Great. It might be an issue getting it back out because we're not on the other side, guiding it out.
Well,
That's
we can
for later
kind
us
of-
to figure
We'll worry
out.
about that.
Yeah.
We do need
This
to
is great, though.
take
Yeah.
it out in about, I think, a week or so, because then I'll need to make it not gross again.
I have a
Oh.
feeling we might be presenting it to the proper authorities within a week.
Right.
That quickly.
I don't know.
Wow.
I mean,
Possibly. I can't imagine that. It's either here or in Saros Manor.
yeah. Well, let's go get Finn. And Cindy, and we'll go talk to the dog folk. Gosh.
Alright. Grab your effects, we are checking
Yep.
out.
Okay.
I'll put
Room check.
everything in my
Everyone,
backpack.
under the
Miss
sheets.
Nestar.
Under the bed.
Oh, yeah. Did you get all of your bones?
I never go anywhere without my bones.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Nestar.
We can always come back.
All right. As the lot of you head downstairs, Nestar is there. You see a much shorter line than the night previous, but still a collection of folks who are waiting in line at the front counter of the Tired Tinker. As you're walking up, Nestar turns. Good morning. Will you all be needing to stay with us again tonight, or?
We have found other arrangements. So the rooms are yours.
You see, there's a bit of a smile. Arrangements, are you all going to be safe and secure?
Mhm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We should be fine.
Absolutely.
And that way, other people who need the room can have it.
That is fantastic news. Well, thank you all so very much. It has been
Thank you.
a pleasure having you here. We hope that this was comfortable for what it was.
Absolutely.
And should you ever be able to leave the town in order to be able to come back, we hope that you come to stay with us.
We'll find you.
Do we owe you any money?
No, you had settled up,
That's right.
and
you said that.
Oh, right.
the last
Okay.
2 nights have been on us.
Right.
That's so sweet.
Well, it's still very kind of you. Okay. Well,
If you need anything.
You as well. Safe travels to you all.
thank you.
Thank
Hello,
you.
friend.
And as you turn, Nestar turns to the group standing in front, and as you're walking away, you hear him say, "Well, I have some good news for you."
Oh, they needed
As you step outside, the streets of Venture seem to be coming alive a little bit more. There is still that weight of everything that has happened hanging in the air, but the town feels like as though it is coming back out of the shell. There are more people out and about. You can hear the murmurs of the streets happening, of people going about their daily business, though the rivers are still dry.
Okay.
Should we grab the cart first and then go?
It's gonna
to
be
the
right
dogs?
near there.
Okay.
That I suppose, yeah. Then we'll just have it, and then yeah.
And as you are there, Cindy, who is standing outside. Where was it that you had the cart kept?
At the
Oh,
At the
cart
garage.
stand nearby. No, that
forget.
way.
What?
As you
Cold.
point, by the open market.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect. That's right where Ryder's going to be waiting for us.
Oh,
Great.
great.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's so convenient.
All right then.
Look
Okay.
at that.
We did.
Every now and again, we get a nice thing.
Right. Well, brisk walk to the cart and then meet up with Ryder, and from there.
Fantastic. Yeah, like I said, he should be by the docks, so, we should be able to see him once we get to the market.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Wonderful. As you begin making your way, it is a well-traveled path at this point. You take the turns that are starting to come as a regular to this town. Not quite a local, not quite a native, but you're getting the hang of it. And as you turn into the open market, the air of commerce is back, and you see many of the stalls are open, selling their food and selling their wares, though at least a third of them are empty. Did you want to get the cart first? Or do you want to go speak to Ryder? I think I see him over there, but...
If it's right there, we could just go talk to him now.
Yeah.
That way he doesn't, if he has to go do his job, which is very important.
Wonderful. And I suppose I should ask, after I introduce you, was there anything else that you would like from me today? I figured, I don't know if you want me there while you're talking as sort of a friendly face, a mediator, or if...
with Ryder.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that you can be involved in that. That
Yeah.
might be
Okay.
helpful. And then after that, we have an appointment with the Lady Lane at the Garden District, and
Oh, wonderful.
I imagine we'll need somebody to watch the cart while we're there.
Though, depending on how this conversation goes with Ryder, I might have a task for you. So,
Okay.
keep your morning open.
I'm at your disposal.
We'll play it by ear then.
Cool.
Now, where
Anything
is
about
this?
Ryder that we should know? Cool guy.
He's... I don't know if cool is the... I mean, he's a hard worker, and he's... I mean, I trust him.
Great. That.
Yeah, he's fun.
Okay. Great. Cool. Let's see what he knows.
Meet the bloke.
All right. As Cindy then leads you towards the main dock where you had originally come to port here in the upper district on the lock jumper. Now, again, completely dry. But you can see at about the area where you had disembarked, there is a gentleman who is seated at the edge of the dock, feet dangling into what normally would have had water, just kind of swinging front to back. He is wearing commoner's clothes, in tans and browns, the sort of person that you would almost not pick him up from a group in a crowd. However, he has a rather large brown beard and a short bit of hair that seems to be balding. And in one hand, he has a stick with little, looks like balls of fried dough, and he is just chewing on as you approach. Ryder! Oh, Cindy! Hello, all. As he stands up and finishes off one of the balls of dough, tosses the stick into the canal.
Yeah.
Just kind of brushes his hands off.
Oh.
Hello there. My name's Ryder.
Hello.
Icon, pleasure to meet you.
Duati.
Duathu, pleasure to meet you as well.
Andy.
Andy, hello.
Finn.
Finn.
Aaron, thank you.
You
Aaron, good to
can
meet you.
finish eating.
Oh no, I have.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. It's broke jaw as a kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, don't be.
Cindy here said that you were willing to have a chat with us regarding some work you did very recently.
Yes, she was saying you had questions regarding my working up here at the dock, doing some loading and unloading. Was it the working on the Fairbanks? Was it?
Fairbanks, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, happy to answer whatever questions I have. See if what I can't help you with. Well, it's not often I get questions about my work.
Well, not often a ship crashes along the trade route, I think. Have you heard what happened with the Fairbanks down in Riversmeet?
Oh, damn, no, I hadn't. I heard it had some, seen some sort of accident, but I didn't know it was a right full crash.
Right into the docks there, yeah.
Yeah. Lost quite a bit of cargo, which is
Oh, hell.
why we are asking about it,
And
actually.
all of the crew.
Oh, no, you don't say.
It's a sensitive issue, actually. Many of the citizens in Riversmeet seem to be quite disturbed by the event. So, for the moment, let's focus on the cargo that you loaded and unloaded. if you don't mind.
Of course, it was. I mean, it was a lot. We loaded up quite a few pints from the mill, and so they'd been refined, so they were good for the full, fancy construction. Had a few crates of grain, food, things like that. A few casks of ale. Those mostly the things I had my hands on.
When you have private shipments between individuals or a small company, do you load those personally, or do they usually hire someone for their own loading?
Oh, what rightly do you mean?
So, say somebody ordered a cask of wine or cider from up here, to an inn down in Riversmeet.
Sure.
Would they deliver that and load it themselves, or would they drop it off at the dock, or do they have to go through the Silver Palm?
Oh no, usually things like that is once the trade's done and you're doing like the transport. That's mostly I'm hired by Plaverton Mill, so it's the ship was theirs. I work for them, but things like that. It's dropped in front of me. I'm told put it on board. I put it on board.
Makes sense.
Was there anything unusual about this shipment, or any of the cargo, any of the personnel involved?
I mean, nothing rightly comes to mind now.
Sure.
Anybody of import seem to make themselves known as you were loading and unloading? Besides the captain of the crew and the dock leader?
Not rightly. I mean, we had the foreman of the mill was there, the quartermaster of the ship, and they was the ones calling the shots, and I mean, there was no fanfare or any sort of fancy passengers or anything like that.
Actually, a couple of questions about passengers.
Yeah, sure.
And the cargo. Were there any manifests of the crew who was on the ship? And also, there's worry that there might be more things missing from the crash. It was quite a huge gouge. And is there a cargo manifest from up here that we can cross-reference?
I mean, probably, but that would be the foreman would have had that, and that's I mean that's going to be back at the Plavertons, but this is no. I mean I don't have any sort of paperwork. I'm the grunt work, I do the I do the lifting that the fancy folk don't want to be doing themselves,
Sure.
or when people who have been working long enough, they make their way up and they don't have to do it anymore.
Is that where you're headed?
I mean, I'd certainly like a foremanship. That would be
Sure.
real nice, but I don't think that's going to be coming my way anytime soon.
What time of day did you load the ship? Morning, afternoon?
That one was it was a morning load. The Fairbanks had to get going that afternoon to catch the wind.
And it was in dock the morning of?
Yeah. It had been up here. I think Fairbanks had been up here at the dock all night. So either that, or it may have come up real early in the morning.
Have you ever heard of anything on the shores in between here and Riversmeet harassing the boats or anything like that? Anything?
I mean, all sorts of things. Yeah, it's been there's all sorts of tales of things that have been happening on the Conda Flow, but
Anything particularly? Like any kind of stories that sort of, seem like maybe they're more than stories and seem like maybe, more specific?
I mean, the things that I think really have lasting impression are like monster attacks that ship's crews have fended off. They hadn't been all. Those were more like early days of the shipping lane. But then there's weird stories about like crew being sung to and jumping overboard into the water. But that's just talk to get crew members to like
Crew
Keep
being sung
focus.
to and then jumping.
oh like old like siren stories, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's. I want to be that. That one I don't believe is real. The monster attacks like that's real. They would come back with like pelts and like look at this thing that crawled on board the ship and we killed it. And like
Any other stories that seem too far-fetched to believe?
one that makes me worried is the things that would like fly down, pick crew up, and just take them off away.
That sounds awful.
It sounds real awful, and that's right on the border. Like, that couldn't have happened, but that might also be me hoping it doesn't happen.
Right.
I mean, frankly, it's stories like that, which is the reason that I work here in the city and don't actually work crew on the ships.
Fair.
But again, those stories are from like the early days of us getting stuff from Venture to start up Rivers Meat, and
Sure.
but it's just a little too much for me. I like my feet on the ground.
Understandable.
Was there anything unusual on this boat? When you were loading it, did you load anything on and go, that's weird, or anything at all?
I mean, there's some I don't know, boxes and kegs and wood.
Anything normal?
Yeah, I mean there was some fancy stuff, but like that
Oh?
happens. I mean that's not abnormal.
Do you remember what any of the fancy stuff was?
There was a couple of fancy boxes. Like what 2 or 3 of them?
All right.
2 probably.
Yeah, I mean probably.
Okay.
The foreman of, I'm assuming it's the same foreman for the Clavertons, unless there's different ones. Who would we call for if we wanted to talk to the foreman about a manifest?
Sure, I think the foreman on that day was Sawyer, I think was his name.
And he's full-time employment with the Plavertons.
Oh yeah, he's a Pleverton man.
And do the Plavertons have an office here or headquarters, or is it just the dockhouse?
Well, they've got the warehouse by the dock. I think they've probably got like a office or something. I think the main Plaverton like warehouse is like the headquarters is up in Locaid.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's my understanding though the Plavertons have a home here, but I don't know where that is.
That's all right.
Your colleague Dunley, unfortunately, was not able to meet us today, though Cindy mentioned that you work together.
Oh yeah, Dumley, he's a good mate of mine.
Does he frequently work the same shifts as you, or does you guys work in tandem?
I mean, he's my friend. We work together. Whenever we're loading ships, we got a good like rapport, him and I. So like, makes the time go faster, makes the work go faster.
And do you form a good relation with the crew as you're loading and unloading? Is anybody
Yeah,
that's
for the most part, yeah.
Who's captain that day?
Captain on the Fair. Who was the captain on the Fairbanks? It was it was like Morn. Something Morn.
Can I insight check? Is he like really struggling to remember, or is he like purposefully like fumbling the name?
Sure, give me an insight check.
Because he's been really like descriptive of everything happened. All of a sudden, he doesn't know who
Yeah.
name was. Let me see what we're dealing with here. That's pretty good. That is going to be a 21.
21. Yeah, he's looking as though he does seem to be racking his brain for the name of the captain.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like he's trying to make anything up.
Okay.
But that he genuinely is like,
Sure.
heard the name, but
Okay. Okay. Captain Morn.
yeah, sounds
okay.
right. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I don't rightly, talk much to the captain. They're more, talking to the foreman.
Of course.
The quartermaster, like, they're ones I usually talk to. And that one, Kale. Kale was his name.
okay.
And do you often see the same captains and quartermasters through here every shipment, or?
They tend to be the same ones on the ship. I think sometimes if it's like a company ship, they'll cycle through, but it's long stints. They,
Right.
but yeah, Kale was the quartermaster of the Fairbanks for last. I mean, I recognized him. He was a good man. He was always making sure we were doing the work, but he wasn't being rude about it.
That's all you can ask for in a boss.
Oh, yeah.
Well, may you rest in peace.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Have you heard of any other ships heading down to River's Meet in the days prior to the Fairbanks leaving?
Yeah, I had done probably like the week before. Had done there was a shipment going down. It tends to be like a constant cycle of ships going to and from. This is on track.
Do you happen to remember the name of the ships and perhaps
Yeah, that one was.
personnel on those?
I don't remember that one quite as much. It was the Wind Song was the last one. So yeah, it was the Wind Song. Loaded that one up with some stuff, and then we did the Fairbanks, and then yeah, Lock Jumper was like. Well, actually, no. Lock Jumper was before the Wind Song. So yeah.
Well, we're trying to ascertain any patterns up and down the shipping lanes. So if anyone from the Windsong happens to mention anything in passing about their travels,
I mean, sure. I'm probably not going to be talking to them anytime soon. I think ships are on, lockdown as well.
Oh.
No ships coming in, and anyone I'd be talking to on the ship, they're on the ship.
well, if you sidle up to him at the bar and you hear a funny story,
I will.
think we might be interested.
Sure. I'm guessing you mean like funny weird.
Yeah.
Because he seems to be asking lots of the weird questions. What's with all the weird questions?
It was a pretty weird incident.
Yeah, like I mean, whole bunch of losing the whole crew in a crash. Like it was one hell of a crash. Was it into the
Right into the docks.
dang?
The problem is that they were gone before they got to the docks.
Yeah.
Really?
The crew was no longer operating the Fairbanks.
They weren't gone, but their faculties certainly were. Mentally.
Oh, like
And
I had a bit too much to drink before, or what?
we're still not certain, but it was something more serious than that.
Yeah.
We still have a lot more questions and answers, which is why we're asking you questions.
Sure, yeah. I mean, whatever I can do to help. I don't know how much I'll be, but if like I can point you in any directions, if I can, well, heck, no, I don't want this to be one more story of a reason I don't want to be going on any boats here, but
I mean, it's a real story. All I would say is we still don't know why the crew did what they did. So I wouldn't be too worried. It was probably just something from the banks of the river.
Just a fluke, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
An unfortunate series of events that hopefully won't happen again.
Don't
But-
like things coming out from the fields or
From the forest, yeah.
all right.
Yeah. We had actually, not but a few days before, fought some spiders. Large
I
spiders.
was going to say, like, I'm assuming not just like a spider, because I
No.
fought 4 of those this morning.
No, much larger. So it seems like things are maybe a little riled up in the woods.
All right.
Yeah. So,
All right. Well, then, well, I guess I should ask you, is this sort of thing I should be, hush-hush about? Or is this, like, common knowledge I just didn't happen to get myself? Or
it
We'd,
seems like it's not common knowledge.
all right.
probably appreciate some discretion.
Okay, I won't be going to tell this story and for any of the other folks to be
That's-
telling stories of telling stories.
That said, you tell the story. It sounds an awful lot like sailors jumping out of the ship after singing. So, use your own best judgment.
All right, so like, well, all right.
Speaking of stories,
Mm.
have the Plavertons fed any stories to the rest of you about what happened?
No, we no, we haven't had any sort of message, any sort of anything like that. It's yeah, there hasn't been any work on the call boards lately, so there hasn't been a reason to be coming to the docks.
Makes sense.
I think
Can
the
I
last one was when the jumper came back and we offloaded, and yeah, no, nothing being told there.
Can I ask a personal question? And
Sure.
we'll use our discretion here, so no worries about answering honestly. Obviously, the Plavertins bring a great amount of business and work for the town.
Yeah.
But what's your impression of them as people or as business folk?
I mean, as all the people I work with, it's most of the people I work with are just hard workers. But the people in charge, like, I don't know, it kind of looks around a little bit. This is just between us all.
Just
like,
between
yes.
I suppose I should ask, like, what do y'all do? What's none of you have none of y'all are looking to be foremen, eh?
No. We've picked up some various odd jobs around town, around Riversmeet up to here, but do not work for the Plavertins.
Yeah. And as you say that, he kind of looks over at Cindy and see she nods. Like, all right, well, yeah, I mean, a couple of the foremans are dicks. But,
That
a
tracks.
couple of them were really good. So it's all sorts of like, what do you do with the power once you get it? How you got there? Did you work hard, or was it handed to you, sort of that thing?
Mm.
Yeah. But the people who worked hard to get there, they seem to know what they're about, what they're doing.
What type is Foreman Sawyer?
Yeah, Sawyer's all right. Yeah, he worked hard, but I think he maybe had a little chip on his shoulder. But like he doesn't blame any of us for it.
Okay.
Never rightly met like the Plavertons themselves, but everything I've heard about them is, if you want to talk hard workers, it was a hard-working family. Is what we wouldn't have a frontier without them.
Sylvie's certainly lovely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen her around. Seems. I mean, yeah, she looks it.
She's not bad at cards either.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I've never seen her play cards, but she handles a clipboard real well.
That tracks.
I don't know if that's saying anything or not, but
I mean, we don't need to take up more of your time, but definitely appreciate the candor.
sure. It's funny now that you mention it. Talking about Sylvie, I think she was actually there. When I was loading up the Fairbanks.
Was she?
Yeah, Sawyer was there, but yeah, Sylvie was also. I don't know if she was just like checking in on the workers or what?
Is that unusual
Uh,
for her to be there while you are doing your work?
Usually, I imagine she's over at the over at Locade, but yeah, it was. I'm not used to seeing Sylvie. Or sorry, Miss Bleverton.
Oh, right.
You called me off guard there. I forgot my manners. I'm not used to seeing Miss Bleverton, but she one of those people that seems like she was meant to be there. You know, she was doing the work. She wasn't making a big deal about herself, and
Did she load anything particularly or help with anything particularly or just sort of...
no, she. I mean, she was working, but she wasn't like doing the elbow grease working, but more like looking out for everything. But she was with the foreman with Sawyer, and they were chatting, but
Interesting.
yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, she's actually been in town for a bit there. Yeah, because yeah, I don't know why she's here. She was here for Fairbanks and the Windsong, but
Did she show up on the Windsong on loading day?
I bet that's what it was. Right. Yeah, I think she did. She got here on the Windsong.
Oh, she arrived on the Windsong.
I mean, that would make sense. I don't remember seeing her when we loaded up the jump.
But she wasn't working. She wasn't overseeing the unload or the loading.
I mean, I think she might have been. Again, sort of person that, like, if you see, she didn't make any sort of like, hey, I'm here, welcome, bow down. No, she was doing her job, which, I mean, her job is to make sure we're all doing our job.
Yeah.
Interesting.
She does seem like the hands-on type. Not the physical hands-on, but the
No,
getting
my-
involved in.
It doesn't strike me as that sort of works beneath her. I don't know if she's had to do it in a while, but maybe it's the part of me that appreciates a hard worker and is hoping that them higher ups would, if the names associated with it and they were the ones starting the town, then they'd still do what they needed to be doing.
You know, I have a rather silly question.
There's been a lot of weird questions. So I'll take a silly one. Yeah.
You know, we met Sylvie and her father. They had a very different accents, different tones of voices. And, is there a part of the world that those voices that? I'm just curious why they sounded so different from each other. You know?
I mean,
Would you know?
I've met a lot of people with a lot of different voices. Hadn't really thought about where it came from or why.
Fair enough.
I've never heard either of them talk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, they have different accents, and it just sort of made me go, "Oh, that's weird," because I kind of sound like my parents.
I mean, for what it's worth, that's what a lot of people do when they hear me talk for the first time. It's like, oh, that's so weird. So, yeah, it's a common thing. Yeah, broken jaw when I was a kid.
Sure,
It's the way it's been your whole life.
Yeah. Listen, when you're like 12 years old and you want to go into the dry docks, maybe wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
That's a great way to break your jaw, at least. Good story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard work.
You still fight there?
Who said anything about fighting? So y'all,
No. What?
yeah, no, you all done some work at the docks as well? Wink. I was supposed to say that.
Maybe that's a story for over a pint down at the Soggy Dog later, huh, Ryder?
Oh yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah.
I think we've taken up enough of your day. Why don't you go on and if Foreman Sawyer is available, we'd be probably interested to speak with him regarding the matter.
That's one of those things there that I don't rightly know where he lives either. Basically, when job postings go up, we check the boards down at the docks, see if a ship's coming in. If a ship's coming in, I show up and I do my job.
Not rightly work in the warehouse when there's no postings then.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Okay.
he might be at the warehouse, but I'm
Sure.
specifically I'm a hired helping hand of lifting heavy objects, not necessarily like watching over heavy objects when they don't need to be lifted.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
again, would like that job. But I think I've got at least a couple more years of proving myself. And
Well, if we can track down Sawyer, we'll put in a good word for you. Wink.
yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Sure. Well, thank you, and Cindy, thanks for the introduction here.
Sid, happy to help, and yeah, Ryder, thanks for meeting with us. Well, Cindy, of course, anytime. Yeah, well, if it's all right with you all, I think I'm just gonna enjoy the day. Once again, not a lot of work for me to be doing right now, so.
Well, you were quite helpful. I'll fish out 2 silver from my bag and just toss them to
Oh
him.
no, please.
We don't know when the water's going to be restored, and, well, things are tight, so...
I mean, sure, but Albertsons pay well enough. I'm not in need, and as far as I'm concerned, this was a lovely morning chat with some folks I'd never met before. If you really want to, if we do meet down at the Soggy Dog, y'all can buy me a drink or two.
Absolutely.
You
That
can
sounds
count
fair.
on it.
I'll pocket the silver again.
Well,
Also, what
Yeah.
you were eating looked delicious.
Oh,
What
yeah.
oh
is
yeah, no, they've got them over there. As he points over towards one of the stalls, it's fantastic. They put some sweetness on top of it, like powdered sweet, and yeah, it's I don't think it's healthy, but it's a good breakfast.
That's fine. Thank
We
you.
should go eat some. Okay.
What? Well, have a good one, y'all. Pleasure meeting you. And
You too.
Feels well to you.
cool. He gives shakes Cindy's hand and sits back down, leans back, and cracking his neck, enjoying the sun.
Mood.
And I make a beeline right for where he pointed to the sweet things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll follow close behind.
And as you're all walking forward, Cindy steps back and walking in line with you.
Yeah, I
Aaron,
think we're all
says,
just kind of slowly congregating, like in the food court.
Is there something?
Well, Ryder was rather helpful. I was mostly
good.
curious as to which of the ships previous to the Fairbanks had left Venture bound for Riversmeet, and he answered that question. The next question that kind of turned to everybody is, who was on that ship? Who oversaw the load and unload of that ship?
The Windsong.
Yes.
That's right. Because that would have had the other thing on it. What's kind of fascinating to me is that Cindy was there for both of
Sylvie
them.
was now
Mm-hmm.
present at both. It's good to know.
Sylvie was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Breakfast, cart,
Lady Elaine.
Lady Elaine.
As you approach the stand, there is the sound of just sizzling dough, and you see a large copper kettle that is bubbling and sizzling with sticks that have been placed in it, and a fire that is boiling underneath. Fire seems to be created not by logs, but by little metal tubes that are just high pressure.
Nice.
There's a
I like that.
plump middle-aged woman there, like, "Hello, would you all like some fried dough?"
Oh, yes, please. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, sweet or savory, love?
Oh, sweet for me, please.
Sweet for you. She pulls out one of the sticks, and you can hear the sizzling as it is now crackling with the dough hardening over it. She brings it over to a tray, rolls it in, looks like a seasoning. Just be 1 cup of.
Oh, thank you so very much.
Yeah. Careful, it's hot.
Thank you.
And as you pick it up, you can feel the heat coming off of the bottom of the stick. They are quite toasty.
A stick of each.
Anyone? Stick of each? Yep. Come right up. As she replaces now.
Same.
Oh, okay. And she grabs another stick that now has raw dough and balls of 3 on it, and just places it in. And she pulls out 3 more. right, there's sweet, and then savory. That'll be 2 gold. Thank you very much. You love?
Yeah.
One of each?
Yeah.
Have to wait a little bit.
That's
But-
fine.
one by one. Anyone else?
Sure.
Savory.
Savory?
One of each.
2 copper, 1 copper, 2 copper. She eventually brings them all out. The sweet, as you bite into it, Dwarfy, it seems to be a combination of sugar and cinnamon. It's very much like a ball of churro,
They are going instantly.
and they are fresh.
Burn my mouth a little bit.
The savories, as you bite into them, seem to have a flavoring of garlic and onion. And as you bite in, there is a small bit of cooked meat in the center of it as well.
Oh, so good.
Nice.
Surprise me. Oh, yeah, I'm double fisting these as we go to the cart.
All right. Quick pace. I think we need to. I don't want to miss our appointment with Lady Lane.
Right.
Was there anything we wanted to ask Cindy to do today?
Yeah, was there anything you wanted to ask me to do today?
I was sort of wondering if maybe you could check in on your friend who Dunley. Maybe see if you could find out where he is and if he's, how he's doing.
Yeah, I can go look for Dunley. Anything else?
Well, you heard the kinds of questions we were asking Ryder. If you can fish out any information from Dudley, maybe save him some time. But, well, I
Weird
know you
things
already
happening
spoke with him.
loading and unloading. Is there anything I should be... I heard the questions, but I don't know...
Sylvie's presence there is interesting to us, I think.
Okay.
If that's unusual, especially.
What sort of things should I be listening for? Because I know what you were asking, but I don't know what I should be...
Fancy boxes.
Those 2 crates, the fancy ones.
Anything
Thanks.
unusual that might have been loaded or anyone there who was different.
And possibly if, Sylvie was paying extra attention to the fancy boxes.
Okay.
Anything unusual with the crew? Any abnormal personnel?
Yeah, I think that's a big one. Just if anything unusual was noticed.
But we can certainly meet with him too if we need to.
Yeah.
Where should we meet up?
How about at
I'm-
the top of the Skytram? No?
Mm.
I guess we don't know where you're going, so we don't know.
I live... I live up here, so...
Okay.
How near do you live? Wow. How near to the temple
The temple?
do you live?
Maybe I'm about a 10-minute walk from the temple. I'm in the third ring. The third ring to the south
Maybe we can
is my
meet
neighborhood.
In the plaza there.
Plaza.
The other, I know this is more weirdness. I didn't want to freak out your friend.
I mean, he can take a lot, but
He puts a lot of weight in stories, and a part of the story is a concern of if the crew was sick before they left.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Or showed any signs of possibly being sick.
So
Or agitation or
Yeah,
something.
If they were acting different in any way.
Something happened between here and Rivers Meet that we can't explain. This might be a long shot too, is if there was any live cargo on either of the ships.
okay, so fancy boxes. Sylvie Plaverton.
Right.
If she was paying attention, any sort of weird things about the Fairbanks, and then if the crew was sick or showing any sort of signs, and if there was live cargo. Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot. Sorry, but
Anything else?
no, I think those are the important points, and then if anything else comes up, we can figure
Yeah.
that out later.
I wouldn't. Again, if you were able to accomplish all of that before we meet up, and you're looking for something to occupy your time with,
Okay.
there is a business on the bridge that I visited yesterday
Mhm.
called The Collection. I'm not sure if you're familiar with any of the
Yeah, I've seen that one.
establishments there.
I've walked the bridge.
Quite an interesting assortment of goods sold there.
That's
and
the magic shop, right?
yes,
Yeah.
I'm curious to the type of clientele that visit there. So, if you wouldn't mind just waiting across the street and just kind of observing who comes in, who comes out, makes purchase, drops something off, makes a delivery,
Okay.
just take stock.
So inquire after Dunley. If I find Dunley, ask him all those questions. And then if I have any time after finding Dunley, look after the collection, see who's going in and out.
Yeah, just hang out.
It doesn't need to be anything sort of specific, I suppose. Just,
At what point should... Okay.
I was
Okay.
I was thinking maybe we meet tomorrow
Yeah,
morning.
I think
then.
so.
Yeah, because that's a lot of
I
things.
mean,
Okay, so that's
we'll
my
be in
day.
the North Gardens.
Yeah.
So that might take all afternoon.
Yeah, and with the curfew and everything, we just want to be extra
Yeah.
careful. So yeah, maybe in the late morning meet
At the temple
at
or
the
near
temple.
it. Yeah.
And in case I can't find Dunley,
Go straight to the
I would-
collection.
Yeah.
well, I guess my question is, at what point should I stop looking?
With enough time to get home before curfew.
Okay, so basically Dunley's priority.
Yep.
Okay, I can do that.
I mean, if you don't find him in a couple of hours,
Yeah,
and that's
there's
normal,
you don't
then
have to spend all
Yeah.
day searching
No,
for him.
Okay, so give it a couple of hours looking
Yeah.
for Dunley. After that, check out the collection,
Yeah.
hang out at the collection until it's time for me to go home.
Yes.
Yep.
And then go home. And
Yes.
then meet at the temple tomorrow afternoon?
Late morning.
late morning.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
All right.
did we give her the money? Did we give you money for
No,
today?
no. Here.
Okay.
Oh,
I had
right.
the 2 gold.
Thank you. And
Making it rich.
Seriously.
all right, I will do all of that.
Excellent. Well, keep up the good work.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
That she turns and you can see begins to walk with purpose. Maybe kind of quickly.
She's
A
a
lot to do.
business lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. Okay. Well,
Let's get the cart and get going. I
yeah,
guess.
yeah,
Simple drop off, yeah? Just one place to the other?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we going to take the cart back to the house and
That's
then...
what I.
Well-
Is the house on the way?
Not really. Do we have time?
Okay.
Like, what time of day is
Better
it?
maps in real life too.
It is still early morning. You just had breakfast.
Right, alright. So
Sun hasn't even hit.
We've got
I
time.
think we have plenty of time.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good idea. So we're
Yeah,
not
skip past
carrying
picking up a cart and
everything
dropping it
around.
off.
Yeah. Let's do that, though.
Yeah. Let's,
We can just fast forward.
yeah.
As much as I love talking to this guy, he doesn't give a shit about us.
Cart
Yeah,
storage,
let's-
man.
Cart storage, man.
Get the cart, go to the house.
It's like talking to the security guard at your local shopping mall.
Yeah,
Just like,
does
hi, whatever.
It's like, please stop talking. He's
Yeah.
like
Seriously.
one
Yeah.
below Brody.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You did say there's like a place at the safe house
Yeah.
for like a horse and a cart.
There's a garage.
right?
Yeah.
A garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can.
Not necessarily a stable, but there's a little.
It's a
something.
cart port.
Yes.
Luckily, we don't have
Yeah.
horses.
Great.
Yeah.
Just Chauncey.
Yeah,
Way,
that's
way
true.
better than horse.
Yeah. So if that's okay, DM, can we
Can we
Go
skip
get the cart
walk
and
to the
drop it
cart?
off?
Unless you know, suddenly, surprisers!
As you head up to, as you go to get the cart, it's the cart is pretty much by the open market.
Yeah.
You can see right there. The gentleman's not there.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Is someone else there?
There is nobody there.
Oh.
Is our cart still there?
Your cart is still there.
Great.
Y'all
What
ever
the
seen
hell?
that episode of Star Trek where everyone just starts slowly disappearing?
I
Oh,
don't
no.
like
One.
it.
No. I did, as we've been walking the city, what is the guard presence like these days? Like, is it because we're what two days post boom
Post-March.
booms?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what does that presence feel like?
I think we're 3.
You have definitely noticed an uptick in city guard. It doesn't. There's not a city guard patrolling every street. But as you were having breakfast, let's see, passive perception of 20. What is that? 20.
Oh, 19.
Oh, 19.
Yeah, that's the old.
Ah.
Still
24
Still
rules.
pretty good.
It was a 21.
You can see there are guards that are at the docks area. It looks like there are. Looking about, you can see the Silver Palm seems to have guard that was not present before, but doesn't appear to be city guard.
Okay.
But the alertness has definitely gone up.
Okay.
Do we see any deacons?
So far, the only deacon that you have seen has been by the Flow Forge.
Got it. Okay.
As we are kind of milling about, and now that Cindy's left us, can I just, as we're maneuvering, just keep an head on a swivel for anybody tailing us?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you give me an active perception
What do
check?
your LMI see?
Oh, do we have to pay for the card storage?
If he's not here,
I
do we have to
guess.
pay for the card storage?
I'll leave 2 silver just on the little chair where he normally sits.
25.
25.
Dang.
From the open market,
Not platinum.
the only way that you can think of getting to your safe house is backtracking entirely from the open market to the Tired Tinker to the safe house.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you give me a quick intelligence check?
Sure. You've been rolling well. Let's keep it going. That's a 16.
16. Okay. You don't believe that with all the traveling that you have done, you haven't noticed any bridges or walkways that would be large enough for the cart along that path. Everything has been more geared towards the size of just people walking.
Oh. So we can't get to the cart to the house.
You do recall, however, there is a main thoroughfare
Right, with
That-
the main gate out of the city.
leads from the open market and the docks area to the main gate. And having taken the canals before, you do know that all of the canals will link up to the different rings.
Okay.
So we have to go.
Right,
So we get the
yeah.
cart in the canal? Is that where? Sorry.
No, no,
I'm,
I
I'm
think-
not
I think we-
No, we'll have to
visually-
go to the main thoroughfare.
We head up
Gotcha.
Main Street towards the main gates and then loop our way back around to the safe house.
Okay.
I think we go out of our way to get back down.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if we've got the time. Also, it'll be sort of interesting to see what's happening at the gate. I know I'm kind of concerned about whatever is going to be happening there.
Yeah, are they checking people in and out? Like,
Or just guarding a closed door.
yeah. So,
Okay.
it's a weird detour, but I'm kind of glad that we'll be able to check that out.
And if they are letting people out, we just leave. No?
I mean, it
I mean-
sounds like you all have things to do here,
Yeah.
but
It's not a lot of appointments I wouldn't blow off to get back home. Weird to say that, but
I blew off Locke last night.
Shit. Did you have a date or something?
I told him I was going to come back and purchase something, though.
you told him you might.
Yeah,
Okay.
Maybe he'll drop the price if you wait a day or two.
maybe. Leverage. I like it.
which thing were you thinking of buying?
The orb. The
Well,
the
we were
directional
looking at the
orb.
orb. We
Oh,
talked
the
about it though. It
directional
seems
orb.
it seems kind of pointless without a map.
It's very cool. I imagine we would find it useful, but yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
not.
the ball of light, the goggles of night, those were tempting, but too expensive.
Okay. I get in the cart.
Start pushing.
Hook Chauncey up.
As you
Yeah.
hook Chauncey back up to the cart, he is well trained at this point, and
He's so good at it.
to the point that as you get the main harness around the harness that goes underneath, he steps in and sort of nuzzles up. Seems to have figured it out on his own.
Best boy.
And though it is out of the way from your footpath, it is quite easy to find the way onto the main thoroughfare. From the open market, it takes you just one ring before you recognize the path that Cindy had taken you on evenings before to get to the Northern Garden District for Lord Janum's party. And from there, you pass from ring to ring to ring, passing the homes, passing the large structures, and up ahead you do see the main gate. The main gate is on the outer section of the last ring being where your safe house is connected, but more south from here. The nights before, when you had passed the main gate leading to Lord Janum's house, you had seen a large, impressive gate with a couple of city guards standing watch. Now, you see 8 members of the city guard and 2 deacons that are standing watch. There is a collection of carts and people waiting by the door. They appear to be being interviewed by the city guard. At least one of the members of the city guard you recognize as wearing a captain's uniform.
Okay.
From this distance, you aren't able to make out what he is saying. It's to a couple of gentlemen with a cart that seems to have wares on them. There seems to be... It's not a heated debate, or a heated conversation, but clearly an unpleasant one. Eventually they are, as you keep approaching the cart that they are, the 2 gentlemen that the city guard are talking to are turned away, head back into the town.
Well, I guess nobody's getting out then.
The captain of the guard beckons up the next set. Seems to be a group of 3 humanoid, man and a woman and a child. They have 2 horses, and they begin chatting. The deacon's just watching.
Yeah, that's what I'm focusing on. Is their behavior.
Going to go get in the back. I mean, I was in the cart. I said I was hopping in the cart. I'm going to hop into the cart.
Not suspicious at all.
Just sort of get really comfy.
I mean, we're not going to be heading through the gate, but
No.
yeah, as I guess I don't know which direction we're passing, but
I'm picturing counterclockwise.
yeah, I'm just gonna
Mm-hmm.
kind of keep an eye on the deacons as they focus on whoever is there.
A couple of the members of the city guard seem to clock you as the cart in the group is turning and watching. Mostly, it seems though seeing a cart approach.
With a Chauncey pulling it, I'm
Mhm.
sure.
With that, one of the deacons turns to look and sees it, and there is just a moment of standing tall, a bow and a closing of the eyes,
Like reverence.
but then turning back and focusing on the work.
Cool.
Did
I'll
he just do the thing where he was looking at Chauncey again? I still don't understand why people do that.
I mean, Chauncey's a pretty remarkable creature, and
I
the kind of
know.
power it takes, it's awe-inspiring.
And it's part of the religious part, right?
part of it. Everything has its place.
And the song bearer breathes life into inanimate objects.
Oh. Oh, really?
Well, that's one way to look at it. The courtyard really is what brought the
Yeah.
life, but some people,
Is that how it's interpreted?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
not many people actually know about coal, quite honestly.
Right, unless you live in a mining town or
Right.
If they're
Oh.
you all.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I suppose it makes sense with the way you talk about it if you know her song is sort of the source of magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
So, it makes sense. I mean,
Okay. Okay, well, that actually is the most sense this has made, so thank you.
We found an inn.
Okay.
It is a brief walk from the main gate to the safe house. But
How much time would you say from the gate to the? Not like I want to know if we needed to get out of here.
right.
under 15 minutes.
Under 15.
Oh, that's great.
if
Okay.
we were running.
As a
And
If
horse.
we ran real fast.
You don't have to cross any bridges.
Uh-huh.
You don't. You just follow the wall.
hmm
I meant to ask this last session. How tall are the walls here on this side?
On this side, the walls are reminiscent of the walled cities. They are very tall, but they are nothing in compared to the Great Walled Cities. These walls stand roughly 20 feet tall.
Still tall.
Mm-hmm. Two-story.
Wow.
I wonder why they are.
Keep things out.
Are there things that are that tall?
Keep things in.
Right now, yeah.
Right now, both.
Boy.
And no one's peeking around corners at us. No one's.
No one
watching.
seems to be watching you.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay.
Do you think we can
Sensors.
play to the deacon's reverence and
And do what?
Pretty please, let us
Let's
out because
stay
Chauncey's
on
cute.
track.
well, when it's time to leave the city, official lawkeeper conservative business is a good reason to leave.
Yeah.
Sure, but
I'm not saying
what
now.
are the odds that they'll let everyone go with us?
Well, they're with us, and we vouch. It's
I mean,
certainly not that creative, but
Yeah.
it's the only
let's
option I've come up with
finish
yet.
up our business here first, and then we can talk about an escape
All
plan.
right, all right. Maybe Elaine will have something.
Sure.
At this
Yeah.
point, you reach the safe house.
And is there like a driveway or like a side alley that we can
Is
push the
there a
cart down? I
driveway?
can't remember.
Is the door automatic?
The door doesn't even have a key.
Yeah.
You do know that the to get to the stable around back, based on the layout of the house, you'd probably you go all the way around.
Okay.
But there's a path for it.
Sure. Okay.
I'll help you unload Chauncey. Ugh. Are we gonna leave Chauncey here?
No,
To go talk to-
Chauncey can
okay.
come
He
with.
can definitely come, right?
We
He
can-
might-
Yeah, it's just leaving our stuff in the cart. So
Yeah.
things are in a bunch of different places.
It does feel better to be able to leave stuff here.
Yeah,
I think this place is safe.
yeah.
I know it actually, so.
Also, sorry I wasn't asking a lot of questions to Ryder earlier. I honestly was so embarrassed that I shut down.
Oh.
Because of his jaw.
Yeah, I thought
Oh.
he was still eating, and it didn't seem to bother him. but
No, I don't think he was
felt
offended.
Uncomfortable.
It's all right.
I mean, I bet he gets it a lot, but also
yeah,
it's good that you're concerned about it.
yeah.
I'm sure he appreciated that, but you know.
You said sorry.
I did.
Also, it's probably good not all of us were hounding him with questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did we even get anything useful? I mean,
Yes.
Sylvie's presence there.
Sylvie's
yeah,
presence.
Sylvie, that's
Sylvie
there.
was there,
That's a
and
little.
that
Learning the name of the wind song is incredibly
Yeah.
helpful because that, as we let's all go inside.
Yeah.
And I will just real quick so we can debrief on that. We'll just
Yeah.
lock.
There's a different lock that has locked the the stable itself.
Okay.
But
God.
it is closed and locked.
Okay.
With this, you can do your
11.
11 is perfectly fine.
Cool.
Yeah, you're able to unlock it. The door's open. You seem to have a new entrance in.
Okay.
So like as soon as I feel like we're inside like the hut a little bit, yes. Yes. Learning the name of the Windsong tells us who potentially delivered Silas's first round of
Right.
Yes.
shot. So if we can learn who was on that ship, who delivered it,
It sounded like Sylvie was on that ship.
or near.
No, Sylvie was on that ship.
When
at
it
least,
arrived.
at least
When
when
it
came out.
arrived.
But we don't know if she was on it when it went to River's Meet.
Yeah.
So
She might have stayed.
But Lockheed is the opposite direction,
She
right?
came from
Yes.
Lockheed to here. I believe something might have gotten loaded here and,
then
sent
went
to Rivers.
Meet.
Yeah.
That's how I understood it.
It is
No, you're
unusual,
right, you're
though,
right.
that she was here, it seems like.
Well, and I didn't realize. I guess I didn't speak with either of the Plavertons much at the dinner party, but I didn't realize. Of course, they don't live here. They would live in Lockheed.
But it sounded like
I think they have a home here.
this is their main home, is the impression I got by Sylvie's disagreement
yeah,
with her
and
father.
she seems to really care about Venture because she wanted to help rebuild for
Right.
free.
It just makes me wonder. Why would she make such a personal appearance?
Mm-hmm.
Then he seemed like it was an odd occurrence.
Which way is
Yeah.
Lockheed again?
North,
North. Okay.
right?
So it would be
Is that right?
Lockheed, Venture, River.
It is close to. I'm pretty sure you've all
Yeah.
checked this before.
Yeah.
Certain-
Yes.
It is close to Nerth Cadra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
Oh.
one is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mining City in the North. I remember.
Yes.
That's its hashtag.
Hashtag mining city in the
Mining
north.
City in the North.
Yeah.
So, Rivers Meet was north.
Oh, damn it.
Damn.
It
That's why
it
I'm
is in the
checking.
south.
Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's all just upside down.
This is why you need the
Yeah.
The orc.
Right.
But
We just go back.
Right.
Like, wait.
We're going
Wait,
north
we've
to
been
near
here.
Cardinal. Wait, this is Riversmeet. Mining City in the south.
South. Okay.
Yep.
we need to talk to Sylvie then about the contents of the ship on the Windsong.
I just worry she's going to be much more guarded.
Well, then we will press
So we
her.
need to.
Maybe we talk to Lady Elaine about Sylvie and the Plavatins.
Yes.
I think
Figure
we have
out-
a lot of people to talk to her about.
That's true.
And a lot of things, because I still want to know why they were after her book.
I think. I don't know her super well. I know her about as well as you all do.
Mm-hmm.
We might have to come in strong
Mm-hmm.
on this one. I think my previous attempts of being gentler isn't going to get the answers that we need from her.
No.
A strong bargain, I think, is what we need to come in with. I don't know that we need to be heavy-handed or even forceful. Just, we need to make it clear that we have information to trade.
And we also need to
we
be
need something in
resolute.
return.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sort of following everyone else on this. Don't get me wrong, I want to know, but
I-
I'm concerned, but
It's not Elaine I want to levy all the accusations at,
Mm-mm.
necessarily, but, well, she's certainly been guarded. There's stuff she's not telling us. But there's stuff we haven't been telling her either.
And it may be coincidence. It may be coincidence that all of this has occurred in her radius.
Fair point, because as soon as we walked in, the mage hand just put all the work back up on the walls, pretty much exactly the same layout and format with the wind song being added. And I gesture at all the threads tying back to Elaine. Yeah, certainly. Well, you know what I like to say: correlation is not causation, but this is a lot of correlation.
What ship did she take down to Gladen before she got dropped off?
What if it was the Fairbanks? Did
Was
we
it the
ask?
Fairbanks or was it the
I
Windsong?
think we asked if it was the Fairbanks, and she said no.
I'd have to go back through it.
Yeah, I would too, but
That's a
that
way-
just like,
I
I
feel
don't
like we
know
does.
why that rings in my head that she did not take the Fairbanks down. I feel like we asked.
But we could verify which
Mhm.
ship she took down.
Yeah.
See if she had a moment to talk to Sylvie. If it was the Windsong, they would have probably passed each. Well, I guess a ship doesn't always leave right after it gets back.
We'll just ask her which one it
Yeah.
was again, and you know, be really, upfront about the fact that we really need to know these things.
We're
She's always
involved
been
now.
very kind to us.
We're involved in whatever she's involved in. We were on that ship when those dwarves attacked her,
Yeah.
and it hasn't stopped. It might be beneficial for her to rely on somebody else to ensure that nothing else happens to her.
Personal bodyguards?
Possibly, if she feels she needs it. Depends on what she did yesterday, at that time around the city.
Yeah.
All right, let's lock this up and rendezvous.
Yeah. Let's go.
Wipe the walls.
Whee!
Shake pal like an etch a sketch.
Oh God.
No, just the mage hand quill.
I'm going to make sure that take a quick second while everything's getting packed up that the flowers on my staff and Chauncey's little flowers are looking really nice and fresh. Because
They
we're
are
going to
looking
the
nice and
gardens
fresh.
and he needs to look very, garden appropriate. Thank you. Absolutely.
All right. Well, leaving the safe house and heading north against the wall towards the northern garden district. And at this point, you feel fairly confident that you can make the roadway connections.
We have to go past the gate again. Right?
You will, yes.
Oh, God. Okay. And no stress was had at all.
As you approach the gate, not much has changed. At this point, there are no people attempting to leave. You aren't sure if anyone has been let through or if everyone had been turned away. But all of the guards are there. The two deacons, now with no one at the, no one to question. They each stand one on each side of the large door, the double doors, kind of equidistance apart.
The doors are opaque. They're wood, right? We can't see through them.
You cannot see through.
Darn. Okay. I'm just curious if it's like a line.
Oh, like a lattice
outside.
gate.
Yeah.
Mm.
Line to get in.
Right.
Just gonna walk normal.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Nothing to see here.
Just walking around with
Totally
a giant drill badger cart. No,
normal.
just the giant drill badger.
Well,
now.
yeah,
no
Yeah.
more
not
cart.
the card.
As you walk past now, both deacons, you see make this the similar gesture, eyes down. This time, leaving their heads down as you pass. However, you can see that their eyes are open and looking. It seems as though they're taking both a moment of reverence, but still being active.
I'll kind of give a subtle nod to them.
I'll give him 2 finger salute.
As you walk past and keep heading north.
Dorothy
Eventually,
being totally normal.
Totally normal.
Don't be suspicious.
I do.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
I do try my very best. Just,
to be nonchalant.
I'm just walking, man.
Well, give me a performance check. I'm kidding.
No.
Ha ha. So funny.
Eventually, you start making your way into the fancier neighborhood that you know as the Northern Garden District. The houses have become more ornate and elaborate and spread farther apart. You don't recall seeing a garden outside of Lord Janum's, obviously.
Right.
That's right. An actual garden. We are meeting her in an actual garden.
Uh-huh.
Eventually, you approach the familiar Lord Janum's home.
Do you suppose we ask for directions?
I think let's just keep walking, and I can always get in contact with her if we don't
Okay.
feel confident.
Is there a signpost? Gardens.
There are not.
It's rich people. They know where they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Continuing to walk 2 or 3 blocks down, you can see now that the houses to the right side of the road have given way to large trees that have are being blocked in by almost a shrub wall. As you keep going and going, eventually a large arch of vines opens into what looks like a massive garden.
Something tells me this is the spot.
Oh.
Yes.
There's a lot going on there.
As you peer in, you can see a fountain midway through, not running,
Freaking frack.
and a bench by the fountain at which is seated the Lady Elaine. Inside this district, as you step into this hedged area, it's almost as if you enter back into the forests that you had been in the wilderness. Massive trees, bushes, the ground beneath you, aside from the path that has become not gravel, it almost a paved stone, but the rest is grass and wildflowers.
Is there any other soul in sight?
Looking about, give me a perception.
I'm the one for this for sure.
As soon as we see Lady Elaine, I'm gonna get a psychic link going between myself, Andy, Finn, and Icon.
8. Looking about, you do see a few other people that are walking in the garden. You see a couple walking arm in arm. They seem well dressed. They seem to be walking away from the fountain, more into the district, or into the garden. But you don't see anyone else then other than the Lady Elaine.
And lots of like secluded pockets around the garden. It feels like kind of
Looks like you can
discreet,
find
yeah.
some pockets, yeah.
All right.
There's a community garden pocket.
I'll lead the formation.
Yeah.
Lady Elaine.
As you step up, she seems to be looking down at a book and closes it. Icon,
And I reach
wonderful
out.
to see you. She
Mhm.
offers her hand. Friends, it is so good to see you all. How have you been under this oppression?
So that's one way to put it.
We endure. We endure.
I say in the most literal of terms.
Of course. Better in your company now. Thank you for meeting us.
Not too kind, Finn.
We aren't here for kindness or niceties necessarily. We are here for business this time.
Oh, work.
Well,
A bit.
trade, perhaps.
Well, I shall put my business attire on. With that, she reaches up and adjusts. You can see she has almost like a small sun hat that is. It's not going to be protecting her from any rays of sun. More fashion, but very lovely for the garden.
But I crack a grin and then like remember this is supposed to be serious time and just like blush a little bit. No, your attire's quite all right. Look, we have information I think that you might find interesting, and well, something tells us that you haven't shared all the information you might have that's relevant to our information.
Oh, I have lived a long life. And I have known you for very little.
Yes.
So I imagine there's much that we don't know about each other.
There
I
is.
imagine so.
And you've been one of the few people in our travels who's been fairly forthright and seems well traveled.
Well
Comparatively.
I try to get around.
I've noticed. Like Finn just said, you're well connected. You know things. I'm sure you hear things. But you're also brilliant, it seems, at connecting things.
Aiken, you're going to make me blush.
Well,
At least that'd make two of us.
people who aren't perceptive don't keep a journal.
I beg to differ.
The people who don't have interesting things in that journal don't pay 50 gold per person.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you're connected. Well, the attack on you and the theft of your journal is loosely connected to the attack on the city here. And well, we certainly have some concerns.
Loosely connected. How? What do you mean?
Well,
I imagine I live here.
I mentioned to you the other night that they were perpetrated by the same people.
Same
That's right.
organization,
Same
anyway.
Yes,
Group,
yes,
yeah.
definitely not the same
No, I
people.
forgive me. I had forgotten. I could see where that would be. Well, I suppose suspicious.
Yeah, it's not you we're suspicious of, and by no means do we mean to levy any accusations your way. More if you,
I didn't assume that you were.
there's just missing pieces, and maybe you can help us connect some dots.
Yeah, we're just trying to connect things, and it seems like it could be a coincidence, but it's too much of a coincidence.
It's, you know a lot of things, and it seems that they were very interested maybe in the things that you know.
The people who robbed me.
Yeah.
I always assumed that they were interested in my belongings and the money.
You'd think that. Especially, the way that it happened, it felt like a pretty quick grab and run.
But people who welcome death the way they do, they don't usually care about material things, or at least I don't imagine.
They don't seem to at all.
I don't think it was the money they were after.
It's an acute observation, I would say. I feel as though we should be at a desk or something for this. Would you care to walk?
Please.
As she doesn't lead, but takes the lead, and is to walk off of the main path and into the natural formation of the garden itself.
I'll sidle up kind of next to her, but like leaving room for the song pair. Gonna keep
This is
that
gonna
now.
become a thing.
Oh no, God.
I'll
Are
flank
there
like
any,
just off your shoulder.
Any sort of questions that I could immediately put to rest for you? Because then I do not feel attacked, but I can see where someone, as you would put it, doesn't know as much as I might feel that way. And
Right.
I've known you, and I would say that I trust a lot of you.
Does the name Corin Mall mean anything to you?
Cornwall. Mall? No. The name Corin sounds familiar.
The cardinal at the Temple of the Melos is Karan. Though
Oh, Karan,
Could be
yes.
a mispronunciation, or it's just a similar spelling.
I think
But specifically Corin Mall.
Cornwall I don't.
Insight check.
Yep.
Sure.
Me too.
It's gonna be all day. It's such a
Yeah.
all day.
Oh, that's so good.
Okay.
Natural 20. For
Nice.
a 20. Where'd it go? 24.
Natural 19 for a 24.
Hey.
Okay.
Damn.
Y'all.
She seems forthright in the knowing the name Corin,
Mm-hmm.
and that also the recognition of Karan.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've been playing D&D for a while, but this is a question. For passive insight,
Yes.
could I use that throughout this conversation to track her surface level vibe? So, like, if she clams up or gets tense all of a
Absolutely.
sudden, like, is that kind of the
Absolutely.
thing? Okay.
What is your passive insight?
16.
16. Okay.
So I just want to kind of let that run
Absolutely.
as I'm asking, as any of us are asking.
When she said she doesn't know the name Corin Mall, there wasn't a hint of recognition, but there did seem to be a moment of, huh. Like she was putting dots together.
Okay.
She's a dot person too.
We should show her dots.
No, because what if
Your
she's the
third
wrong
date,
kind
calm
of?
Elaine, give me your dots.
Elaine.
Dots or it didn't happen.
I ask, lady, because the individuals that we fought the night you were robbed mentioned his name as sort of a leader of theirs. And if he has any connection here in Venture, it would be pertinent for us to know.
I agree. Absolutely. So I take it he was the leader of the attack?
That we're unsure of. It's a name that we're trying to follow. That's what we have.
He's...
He's still alive, as far as we know.
Yeah. It might not have been something that they took from you. Now that I'm thinking about it, do you have your journal with you?
Of course.
Did they leave anything in your journal? Something that you didn't put there?
Not that I noticed.
I'm sure that they didn't think she was going to get it back.
Unless they knew she would get it back.
Think an object, or as she
Either paper or a phrase that they might
reaches
write in.
into a small, almost like a purse that she is carrying and pulls out, you see the familiar journal. As she begins flipping through the pages quickly. Well, it doesn't look like they physically left anything, and I don't notice any missing pages.
No writing that isn't yours.
That would take me a little longer, but I haven't noticed anything.
Okay.
I don't... I'll read through it every so often, but from what I've read since then, I haven't noticed anything.
Was there any information in that journal that might have helped somebody if they were trying to infiltrate the city or map out weak points?
Mapping out the city itself?
Mm-hmm.
Or really any secrets of the city?
I mean, I certainly talk about my time here in the journal, but I wouldn't say I have any tactical...
Sure.
Right, yeah,
Sure,
that
of course
would be
not.
weird.
You know, to go back to the gentleman, his name sort of sounding like the cardinal's name, it was sort of a thing, you know, that was interesting to me is how his name works, you know, like why they're so similar. Like, you know, like my last name is my mother's last name and my father's last name. And I was just sort of curious if that's like, is that the family name? Do you know?
See, this is where I do like to consider myself a little bit of a linguist. And I believe, I know Karan is an adaptation of an older ancient Jaudekian name.
Oh.
And I think Corin might be the root.
Are you familiar with its translation?
I think it was loosely translated to shepherd or protector.
The full name, does that translate into anything, Corin Mall?
I would immediately think that Maul would flip the meaning, but
Poor shepherd.
exactly. Well,
Shepherd of the dark.
Bad shepherd.
Dark back in.
it does sound rather silly, doesn't it?
Everything sounds silly.
Not
when
in
you don't have
context, though.
context. Okay.
I wonder if he took that name to poke fun.
It's possible.
I mean,
So that's not his name at all. It's a name that he gave himself.
it was given to
shouldn't-
him.
I certainly wouldn't walk around bearing my name for strangers if I was the leader of an attack on a city like this.
Oh, and I think
That should have put it at the square one. then.
unless he's been here since the beginning of Chapek, I don't think that he would have been given an ancient name.
Right. Huh. All
He
right.
did say something about old ways, right? Am I making that up? Something about the old
I
ways.
think you're right. Something.
I just remember that.
Well,
Don't know what those are either.
besides the name, these people seem to be pretty bent on fighting against the order. Basically mocking it and taking the words and twisting its meaning.
Antagonizing everyone involved in the order.
Have you heard of any undercurrents of people being upset with the order here in Venture?
You see her take time to put her words together. I would say that I've met people who have disagreements with the Order of the Melos. It is a large town, and I wouldn't say that I do not typically keep company with those who spout heresy.
Bad for business.
But I've heard my fair share of complaints.
Enough to destroy a big portion of the city and cut it off.
Clearly. Though, I hadn't heard anything quite so radical.
This doesn't just seem like a disgruntled citizen. This seems organized.
And are they, you say, attacking, antagonizing the order, the
Mhm.
people? What?
They wrote a message on the wall inside the Flow Forge. Obedience is bondage. Death is freedom.
That seems to be their general credo.
They don't seem to care about their own lives. They have a purpose, and then if they're caught, they end it as quickly as they can, one way or the other.
Except Coronel.
And I just found in my notes, he said bringer of the old world. And he said he was her companion. By that I think he meant the Dark Beacon.
Yeah.
The Dark Beckons, I had always heard masculine words for him, but I don't know. It's a god concept. Could be both.
Yeah.
But I always heard masculine words, didn't we?
I don't know.
Am I
Maybe I
making
wrote
that
it
up?
down wrong. That was a
Am I
long
making
night.
that
No, I remember
You're remembering
that
correct.
very
Yeah.
specifically.
The Dark Beacon is referred to as
If it's an old world and bring her about those ways, it seems as though if he is her companion, perhaps he is referring to the mother.
The mother.
Well, the mother of decay.
Right. That would track.
With a message like that, excuse me for saying so, I think that one of two things could happen. either you would convince people to be freed from their bonds, but it sounds as though the only freedom that they would be receiving is death. I almost see that as a reinforcement of faith as well.
That's the strange thing, right? Is they have faith inside of. They have faith in something outside of the order, which is nothing new. It's just a pretty forceful way of going about putting your message out there.
Yeah. Well, and I did ask Corin Mall if he believes death is freedom. Why are these people dying, but he gets to still be alive? And he said something to the extent of, well, someone has to lead or something like that.
Or shepherd.
Or shepherd.
Quite pompous of a response, to be honest.
I would imagine somebody who runs a cult would have to be pompous or insane.
Yeah.
Or both.
You know,
And then you step through a tree.
this is
I'm sorry, he
sort of-
what?
Sorry, Duarte. No.
No, it's okay.
Wait, no, hold on.
Step
But
through a tree.
he stepped through a tree.
Yeah.
Dead tree.
Stepped through a dead tree. All right.
Yeah, we can fill you in on the details of the Flow Forge. It's grim.
It was terrifying.
But
But
you were
Duarte-
connecting some dots, Duarte.
Yeah, just sort of. And I don't know if you know this. I learned all these words about 3 days ago. So bear with me with some of this, but and I'm sort of new to the religious ways here.
It's all right, Duathi. I have no judgment.
Thank you. I guess I'm just sort of curious if he's, a person who follows the Dark Beacon, and why would he then be mentioning are all three of these? Because there's the
three
what are the three
deceivers.
deceivers, and I don't remember all their names.
The whispering one.
The
yes.
Whispering One, the Mother of Decay, and the Dark Beacon. Are they all sort of connected the way that yours are? In the same way, like if you sort of follow one specifically, like speaks to you, but like they're all kind of part of the same thing. I don't know.
This begins to tread on that line of things that are comfortable to talk about and things that one rather shouldn't. I mean,
Oh,
to be
sorry.
honest, I should apologize for even bringing up.
We did it first.
It's sort of a thing that we are dealing with. It's unpleasant, it seems.
I'm a bit surprised to hear you even know about them, let alone are comfortable to drop their names casually.
I learned about them 3 days ago. So
Well, as you've said, I've traveled. I've learned a thing or two, and
Mhm.
I think I've grown to trust you.
Mutual.
If you don't mind me,
Please, I mean, I said we are here to trade.
of course, and I suppose fairness would be 5 for 1.
Yeah.
But what are you looking to do for, or like what is motivating this? Obviously, a general just sake of well-being for people, and you happen to be in. I'm guessing what could have either been the right place at the right time or the wrong place at the wrong time. Any sort of combination of those. But are you?
Yeah. Ever since we've met, I mean, from the day that we met, we've experienced a lot of strange things that
Dangerous things.
strange and very dangerous and frightening things that we're trying to figure out, other than it seems to be following us, how they are connected.
And Andy is saying it follows us, but it feels like we are following just on the tail
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
We're always on the heels of whatever's
Something.
happening or on the sidelines of it. The attack on you on the boat. That was a fluke that we were there.
I suppose the meat of my question is, what is it that's motivating you? Is being on the tail end of things is one thing, but to then continue to seek it out. And I suppose what I'm getting at with this is, as I've said, as you have said, I've traveled and I have heard of many a thing, but also I consider myself a member of our society out here, a law-abiding citizen, a follower of the order, but certain things to be spoken of could be deemed wrong.
Sure.
And I just would like to know where you all stand with that.
I can't speak for the rest of the group. I have no affiliation or love for the Order, but I have no animosity towards them either. They serve their purpose in the places that they should be serving their purpose. The reason I'm following this is no one should determine what freedom is for any single person or any society. And the Dark Beacon is kind of going about it a pretty extreme way.
Yeah, to claim you're freeing people by forcing them into death is awful.
But also, what happens to order when it outgrows its purpose and the people with power desperate to cling on to it? Look, I am also of no affiliation to the order itself outside of the lawkeepers.
It is a close affiliation with that.
It is indeed, and I am in quite a sticky situation.
You may not be family, but you are in bed, so to speak.
And I do have family in the order. So, my suspicions and my doubts are certainly things that are hard to talk about in certain company.
Yeah. We've had a lot of these conversations. Nothing, horribly blasphemous, but just talks about our feelings about the Melos and the Order and their connection, and I mean, I'm very similar to Finn. Being a conservator was a means to an end for me.
Really?
There was no other way for me to do what I wanted to do.
That's really interesting. And I would like to find more time to talk to you about that.
For me, the lawkeepers were my only escape from the order. As, at least my father said my place was to follow his footsteps. And, that didn't feel right. And, information is not respected the way it should be, I think.
As Elaine looks between Aaron and Dwarfy.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. Dorothy has no affiliation.
I don't really know any of the things that you were all talking about.
I've brought a lot of corruption to you, Dorothy. I'm so sorry.
Dorothy is a completely safe space.
Don't really understand any of it, to be perfectly honest with you.
Dwathi has the misfortune of being my companion for the last couple of weeks, and us then meeting them.
I just want to be helpful, Those people they're trying to hurt a lot of people, and I don't think there's any good reason to do that. not that many people, not for whatever reason. I just can't imagine one, you know? So, my friends are trying to be helpful, and I thought I should be helpful. And I can help, you know? And so I do. But as far as any of the words, the heresy, the aspects of the Melos, the order, they have to explain these things to me all the time. I don't really understand any of this.
Dorothy may be one of the newest members to our society, but certainly one of the more concerned citizens.
So that's all.
I've lived a longer life than you, I believe. The Order has taken care of me for most of it. A threat to the Order is a threat to that I hold dear. So that's all the reason I can give, to see that those who would disrupt it so violently are given the justice they deserve.
You appreciate them taking care of your family? The Order, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's important when those that you love are taken care of. I completely agree.
Can I make an active insight
Yeah,
check
me too.
on that moment?
On her reaction to Aaron specifically.
Yeah.
You can. After, can I please have everybody roll either your choice, persuasion or deception?
Oh boy.
Your DC is based on what you just said.
Persuasion or deception?
Mhm.
Do you want to know which one we're choosing?
I will let you choose if you were being forthright or if you were not.
Okay.
I was.
Not great. It's roll 20.
Let's roll some
Oh, you good baby. That's a 23. Total.
23,
19.
19,
13.
11.
okay.
A 14, and then I'm going to boost it up with a little cyber knack to make it a 19.
Yes.
Okay. And you wanted an insight check.
Yes, an
me-
active
me-
insight.
Me too.
check.
Okay.
Specifically
You know
on
what?
that.
I actually
Wow.
also do,
Um,
if that's okay.
By all means, listen,
Roll
inside
it.
checks all
That'll
around.
An 18.
18,
18 here too.
Yeah, I was a 9, so I know nothing.
22.
22. What are we trying to gauge off of this?
The way, specifically, the way that she said, like, how they took care of your family.
Your
The
family
order,
was
I
awesome.
mean. And then it's good when, like, the people that you care about are taken care of. Like, what was that journey for her?
Yeah, because I didn't mention about my family being taken
Yeah,
care of.
that's
I
what
said
I'm like, how did
me.
you know?
But
So like
and what
maybe
you
that's
hold dear.
maybe like that's just a little imply. Like I don't know if my implication was like went that far, but like I was trying to be
Yeah.
careful with my words too. So
Yeah, pretty much exactly.
you guys have fun.
I was looking at something else, but if you want to.
She didn't. She didn't seem to have a knife of like knowing who it was. She seemed to use the phrase family as a general.
Yes.
But there did seem to be the question was being asked. There was a lot of studying happening, and based on what you saw, it looks as though she learned something from it. Whether or not it's what she wanted, you're not sure.
Okay.
I was more interested in, I mean, all four of us shared some doubt or concern or, you know, something that could be heretical slightly.
And
And then we
Aaron
have
was
Aaron
like,
over here, and so
I
mine
fucking
is like,
love
was
the
there
order.
any even like subconscious shift in how she received the answer from
and,
Aaron
and then
compared to the rest of us?
yeah.
You will notice that, aside from asking about you and what it is that you saying they want to talk more, Aaron was the only one that she had follow-up questions. deceivers? Where even were we?
Well,
Talking about heresy, I suppose.
Yes.
and forgive us. This is one of the reasons we wanted to have the conversation away from other folk, is because
Oh, I know.
we're dealing with so much outside the order.
Right. The the three deceivers.
Right.
Yeah.
I do not worship them. I do not follow them.
Didn't
Well,
strike me as
I've-
someone who did.
Yeah.
Heard of them, and
We also figured people from their cult organization wouldn't have robbed you if you were.
It's more that you
part
seem to
of
know
them.
things.
to answer your question as to if they're worshipped the same way as the divine archetypes, I would imagine the same way that we follow the Melos. They follow whatever it is that they follow, but they're the three deceivers, and like one might thank the endless cycle for the next day coming and a good day happening, one might specifically thank the Mother of Decay, or in this case, be closer to that one in particular, but that would be my guess, my assumption.
I have certain assumptions as well. Do you mind if I posit a hypothesis?
Please.
The Order seems to have excluded these three deceivers as a affront to the Songbearer, as not part of the Songbearer. But the endless cycle, day and night, life and death, good and bad, comes with that. And if all of the archetypes, the divine archetypes, are part of the Songbearer, why not the three deceivers?
I think that is an excellent question.
That's one the Order certainly wouldn't like, I'm sure.
That's why I asked the Cardinal. They don't have a place, even though everything has a place in the Melos, in the order of things.
I'm not saying these cultists are right, don't get me wrong, but
I don't think what they're doing is right. I do think that they might have some valid criticism of a system that has not been great for everybody. But I again think that they're doing it the wrong way. But why now? Why spring back now because you have a grudge that the Order didn't include your gods?
Well,
You know, it's just weird. It's weird. It's weird timing.
they may have been in the shadows for a long time, and this is just when they've decided to show themselves. But it is interesting what you were saying, Finn, because it really feels like, you know, maybe one side over the other, but both sides are going on an extreme of one belief or the other, when I agree the point of the endless cycle is,
all part of the whole.
yeah.
Has
Sorry.
anyone,
No,
Lady
okay.
Elaine, has anybody who's attended Lord Janev's parties as of late been spouting off heretical claims or frustrations with the Order?
Oh, typically not, no.
Even in a drunken state, even in a passing moment of frustration losing a game of chess?
There's been lively talk about how the frontier towns have been treated, and their inclusion in the Voltian Council, and the Order's place in all of this now that the walls have been opened. But it's simply been discussion. There's been There's been no talk of rebellion or revolt.
Right. I mean, makes sense.
Not really dinner party conversation anyway.
Well, that's not what I would do. If I was a business person here, I wouldn't make an attack that pretty much would guarantee the Order stepping in, closing things off. The attack disrupted the entire livelihood of this upper portion of Venture.
It certainly did remind us of the protection that the Order offers.
The control and the power that the Order offers as well.
The obedience they demand.
Yeah, I mean, you have to know that one leads to the other. So,
Mhm.
you know, you have to wonder if that was.
The point.
Even you called it oppression.
I may have misspoken.
I get that it was a
No,
jest.
but it's understandable in a way. We are.
If this goes on, how can the city sustain? Will the people start to blame the Order? Maybe it's all part of that plan.
And how long will this go on for?
Especially if Corn Mall's left the
Yeah.
city.
Well, as we've heard, that they will be protecting the city until this has been rooted out. I don't know how one might do that, but I'm sure that they are acting diligently to do that.
I am sure they are. Can we, maybe steer to a different topic? We can come back to this, but,
I think that would be
yeah,
lovely.
I'm sure. I'm not sure it's a brighter topic necessarily,
Oh.
but,
You're making me miss Janib.
well, that's quite a feat. The ship that brought you back to Venture, the Lockjumper,
Yes.
was that the same ship you took down to Gladen?
I'm trying to recall. I've taken so many. It was either this last trip was either with the Lockjumper or with the wind.
The Windsong.
Windsong?
That's the one.
How long were you in Gladen before leaving?
Oh, I'd been there longer than I should have. Also, actually, then yes, it would have been. No, it would have been the Lockjumper taking me back up from my trip down to Riversmeet. Yes, it was a short turnaround, but the yes, it would have been the Lockjumper took me there on its way down, was headed back up from a while back, and basically made a full turnaround.
So you got off in Gladen, it made it down to Riversmeet where we picked it up, and we got brought
and
up
then
to
came back.
on that same leg,
I believe so. No,
a previous leg.
it had come back up. It had to make a turn back because of the Fairbanks.
Right, right.
At least that's what the captain told me.
The Fairbanks certainly wasn't coming back, so
No. So did you make it all the way down to Riversmeet? Or you just stopped off in Gladen the whole time?
I had stopped in Riversmeet. That was my first stop. I was there for a week or two. It's a lovely place to visit. I was trying to get out and about, but I mostly wanted to stay in Gladen.
And then you made it to Gladen as the Fairbanks was headed down to Riversmeet then.
That seems right. Yes.
And then the
I
incident
think
with
the Fairbanks passed while I was in Gladen.
Okay, that makes sense. Then the Lockjumper had to turn back after the incident with the Fairbanks
I think so.
and grabbed us, and then that's where we met you in Gladen.
I think the dots have been connected.
All right. So, are you familiar with what happened with the Fairbanks down in Riversmeet?
Just what you all told me. Well, what I heard on the ship.
As my companions have mentioned, that's where these strange occurrences and dangerous instances begin to unravel. But that's just where we join the thread. So
I see.
I'm not sure if that's connected or not, to be quite honest with you. But that's the information we do have to trade.
All right. Trading what it is that happened on the ship, or
And how it may be connected, or
connected
the
to.
knock-on effects of it.
So it was more than the crash.
Yeah.
I see.
This is information that we have not even reported to our superiors. You're really the first person outside of our circle. Except for one, and she betrayed us.
I'm sorry.
So, as you said, the trust has been built. I'm not asking for assurances. I know this information is valuable for you, and you may trade it as you wish, but I do ask that you consider our careers here, perhaps, as you use discretion.
Finn, you make me out to be a dealer of sorts.
I don't mean to. I'm out of my element here. So
I would happily listen to what you have to say, but I don't feel, I don't feel obliged, or I don't feel as though you owe me anything.
all right. Well, in that case, maybe just the high-level details. There's some force. We don't know where it comes from. We don't know what its implications are, but we've encountered creatures, organic and mechanical.
I see. And as the story progresses, what details would you like to leave out?
Oh boy. I'd like to, as I start this, maybe look around at the party and try to gauge if they're concerned about me
you've
sharing.
got a link.
Yeah,
Oh.
you've got a
Yeah.
meta link
Oh.
to me
For 5 hours.
for 5 hours, so I can coach
Well,
you.
yeah, so I'll look at Erin
Defer
and
to Erin.
big eyes for a sec, okay, her buddy, what do I, how much do I, with my eyes kind of asking that.
I mean, I think you could probably go so far, again, as to. Man, it's hard. It's hard. I wouldn't mention us finding the core shard, but
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna leave the coal shot out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
leave.
Let me put it this way. What do you want to say? Not
Yeah.
what
So
do you
it's
not
like-
want to say. What do you want to say?
it's all tied together, Scott.
Yeah.
If you don't mention one thing, do we mention something else?
The
Yeah.
creatures, the organic,
Yeah.
and the metallic,
And-
the barbs that they shoot, and
Right, how-
our theory that that's what turned the crew.
And then
the-
possibly also connecting that to the Dark Beacon teeth. Is that something you want to?
Yeah,
and
I think we
Sada.
can talk about Dr. Sada.
I think I would stop there, with just that 1st connection of these creatures might have turned this ship, and then just valuable cargo on this ship that
Right.
we're pursuing, and that's it.
Do you want to include, because you mentioned the betrayal, do you want to include Sada in that?
No, I think I'd leave out the specifics of any of that. Just the attack on the ship being from these weird creatures, turning the crew, and the lost precious cargo that we seem to think is connected or part of the Y, and then how that then led us upriver to trace that cargo.
So as you recant those details of a story that you have now, not blathering in any way, but you're starting to get used to telling this story. The Lady Elaine seems to stare at you, absorbing all of it, nodding. Well, I'm beginning to see why you were so worried when more connections involving me were being made. So, all that to say is, I understand where these questions have been coming from now, and I appreciate your candor in sharing with me.
Well, like I said, we were more worried for you than about you, but also just desperate for help. We don't know where to go next, so we want to get back to Melos Machina and find more answers there, but we don't even know how to get out of the city. And
What is your next step? What are your plans?
there's one other piece of the puzzle here in Venture, and we think it has to do with Loch Calder.
Of the collection?
Yes.
An absentee party guest.
Proprietor of fine goods and ancient wares.
A man like that knows how to get things.
He certainly does.
Sometimes he even told us when we paid him a visit that people bring him things that he's not supposed to see. Says he turns them over to the Order.
We have him directly connected to that precious cargo that was lost.
When his name was said, what was her reaction?
Yep.
Give me that insight.
I was like, where did I put my dice? Oh,
22 again.
11.
Also a 22.
I'm too focused on my own words right now to like try to read. I'm just trying to keep it together, so no insight for me.
Recognition of the name.
Mm-hmm.
Straight face.
Okay.
There was no upset. There was no.
She is stone cold.
Yeah.
What a
She has
poker player.
nothing.
It
Yeah.
also means
Offer
that she's
there.
probably maybe not close to him.
Yeah.
Like they know each other. I don't know. But also, yeah, who knows? Okay.
We don't know how he's fully attached to. We're kind of in the middle of a couple of things, loose ends.
Well, he certainly is a man who is able to get his hands on things.
Yes.
He has, on occasion, helped me procure an item or two that I've been a gift for Janab that
Sure.
not any average store would have. So I could see where he would fit into this. Have you spoken to him?
Not in this formality.
But you have.
We perused his shop for a little bit to get a feel for his demeanor. Though there is still talk to be had, I believe.
I would imagine so.
I feel terrible for potentially dragging you into something that you were only a satellite for initially.
I think any of that happened the moment that my bag was stolen.
Yeah.
And if it didn't happen then, it happened when the explosions happened.
Yeah.
And if it didn't happen then, well, now it's your fault, and I blame you.
To be blunt about it, Lady Elaine, is there... If you know the contents of your journal probably better than anyone, can you imagine there's anything in there that people who would want to blow a hole in the city would want? If it was yours, you know? And anything that might be helpful to them? And how they might know it would be in there?
People looking to blow up the city, I couldn't imagine. Again, I paid so heavily for it back because it holds severe sentimental value to me.
Yeah.
I cannot begin to express how much.
I understand that.
If the money wouldn't have done them any good, the wand certainly wouldn't have either. I don't know.
What does your journal represent to you?
It is a catalog of all of my experiences, of all of my travels. And it is a reminder of my family.
Are they still?
No.
So sorry.
We've all lost people. And
Yeah.
if we haven't, I am sad to say eventually we will.
Rightly so.
It's one of the inevitabilities.
Was
It
it
is.
long ago?
Long enough. Long enough that though I am sad, I am no longer mourning.
It's understandable.
Were you close?
Of course I would, to my parents, yes. They... Yeah, yes.
I'm sorry.
My journals from my youth are the only connection I have left with my mother as well. I understand. I don't have the gorgeous illustration you do, but
It is... Although I always assumed that, is that a journal, or is that... I thought that was a,
oh no, I mean my childhood journals. This is just the tool of the trade.
That's what I thought, yes.
Definitely lying.
Do you want to roll a deception?
Definitely doesn't have all
Yeah.
of my journals
I
from my
do.
childhood.
Yeah. It's like your live journal also.
That's a 15 with a plus 0 is a 15.
Okay. She smiles.
We want to protect the people of this city, Lane. If you can help us in that, it would go a great distance to those who need it.
I truly do not know what help I can offer at this time, other than my company, my place to stay should you need it.
You know,
Covered there.
I hate to ask, especially since it obviously brings you sadness. The picture of your family. Would they be someone that would be known to other people? Would it, their lives, their existence, their deaths? Would a picture of them mean anything to anyone other than you?
They were known by other people, but I don't think anyone took it for the picture.
Fair enough.
People would recognize them, but wouldn't be the sort of thing to steal my journal over.
Fair enough.
Well, look, I think you know what information we're looking for, and if that's all you have to provide, we thank you for what you've shared. There is help. We were hoping maybe you could provide.
And what would that be?
There's a couple of folks we wouldn't mind an audience with, or way out of the city, if you happen to know of any.
A way out of the city is going to be rather difficult.
Yeah.
But it might be necessary. So if you can provide that, it would be a great favor. Think about it.
Who was it that you were looking to meet?
It's a long list.
Oh, good.
I mean,
I know a lot of people, but
I imagine you do.
How close are you with Miss Plaverton, Sylvie?
I would say she's in the circle of people that I know.
Yes, invited to dinner parties at least.
Exactly. When she's here.
Something tells me that Plavertons are a bit high up and might not be so forthright with us, but Quartermaster Kale, no, he's dead. Likely.
Probably can't help with that.
Foreman Sawyer
Foreman Sawyer.
of the Plavertons, or he works for the Plavertons, I suppose.
Okay.
Well, that's one. Any of the more official folk that we could share our story with that wouldn't just immediately put us behind bars. Don't know who that is. Some other
I
small
think that
brass.
truly depends on how you present your story, and who you present it to.
Right.
Because, yes, you have in your possession proof of something dangerous, but whether or not it is I don't think that by itself, having that creature would be... I don't think you'll get locked up for that.
There is one other person, and that would be Lot Calder. An inn with him, trusted in, because when we visited, he certainly did not seem to want to talk about the kind of business we're interested in.
With that, she places her book and her journal back in her purse and seems to be straightening. I think perhaps you should go back and visit Mr. Calder. And speak with him again.
Absolutely.
Detect thoughts.
Ooh!
How to stop doing this?
Oh, right as we build the trust.
God damn.
Just hitting surface level.
Yeah.
stuff.
Hold on.
Yeah, you know. That's fine. I thought this was the night I wouldn't sweat through my chair.
To leave.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
It fails.
Oh.
Interesting.
You get nothing.
She has no thoughts. She's reached enlightenment.
Oh man.
They're all in the journal.
Okay. Yeah. A short clipped phrase of elven words come out of my mouth. And I'll do my best to hold my composure at the blockage of the spell.
Give me a performance check.
Fuck yeah.
You guys see the episode of Always Sunny where Charlie just keeps being like, wild card.
Yeah.
Performance? 9.
God damn it, Aaron. We've had so many Charlie Day references on this show.
Yeah, oh, that's true. The whole murder wall.
Thank you so much. If it is all the same, I think that that is the best path for you.
All right.
Thank you. And Lady Elaine, I don't want to alarm you, but you might want to keep your head on a swivel more than normal, just for the time being.
Although something tells me yours always is.
Yeah.
Again, you think too highly of me.
Just be safe.
You as well.
Sincerely, thank you.
Thank you.
You've been incredibly, incredibly kind to us. And I know, we helped you out and things. And I guess the point is that, you've been very trusting with a group of strangers.
And very generous.
And I really appreciate that. And if you need anything from us, please let us know.
One thing that I have learned as you now find yourself at the archway to the garden. She steps forward towards it. The thing that I've come to learn in my travels and my time, money is good and all, and having it certainly helps. But people whom you can trust, that's the most important thing in the world.
And I'm happy to speak more with you.
I'm sure we will. And she turns to the arch and stops and turns back. maybe you should go to the collection before this evening.
Mm.
All right.
Just a thought.
Thought from you is it's quite something.
She winks at you and walks away.
I blush.
I think that was as good a direction as we should get. We should probably go then now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might bump into Cindy.
Mm-hmm.
I just like deflate. Like you can see like the tension in my neck actually like visibly like just like loosens.
Conversely, Finn, or I, just like Cindy, when suddenly Cindy had a job to do in purpose, I inflate. Okay, this is a solid direction, a solid lead. Well, south it is, I guess.
Guess.
Are we all walking in?
At this point, why not?
We might as well.
She seems to have confidence, so either she has confidence in us to not screw it up, or she has confidence in her relationship with Lark.
Okay.
Either way, I don't think there's any more reason to put up a guise.
No, I think it's time to show a hand.
You wanted to go head on?
Absolutely.
I think that's what we're about to
I'm
do.
tired of dancing. I want to drive.
Yeah.
Okay. Conversely,
As you all leave the garden, heading south towards the main gate and on your way to the collection. That is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
huh? Good choice.
I really want to go.
Oh, God.
All right.
Oh boy.
Whoa, what a combo.
So many insight checks.
That's a lot of insight.
Oh, that's good.
Uh-huh.
That's good.
Alrighty. Well, thank you all for a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
And thank you all for being here. We're going to head on over for our post-show hangout. Again, if you've been enjoying this and would like to help support us here, free ways of doing so. You can like, you can follow, you can share us with your friends, let people know that you're watching this show that you kind of like. You can also listen to us on all podcast forums. If you would like to support us monetarily, any way is truly appreciated. You can subscribe to us on Twitch. You can throw bits at us on Twitch. You can become members on YouTube. But the most efficient way of helping us is over on our Patreon. Thank you all again so very much. You have an incredible evening. We will see you next week as we return to the collection in the next episode of Melos Machina. Bye-bye.